Hi, it's Mr. Smith, and in this video, I'll give you a tour of MyLab Math. And I'm going to try to do it in 10 minutes, but that's going to be tough. Let's see what we can do. So in the last video, I showed you Brightspace, also known as eCampus here at Dallas College. And we didn't see the learning materials link, so I want to show you that. For some reason, it's not showing up in the student view, but it shows up in my view. So I'm going to click here. And this is something you should see unless there's some kind of problem. But learning materials, message to students, you're going to want to click in there. And apparently it's going to tell you all your materials, like in our case, it's MyMathLab, for your different classes. And so I needed to mention that first. Let's go ahead and go to MyMathLab. So in this menu, you navigate around using the links that are here. Now I'm going to change to student view. And so yours is going to look something like this, I think, although, oh, it looks like it's, let's see, yep, still not showing all the menu items there, but anyway, so this is how you get into MyLab Math. And the first thing you're going to want to do is run the browser check. Now for me, it has something to check down check the lockdown browser out, and I'll do that, but not today. If it tells you, you may have some plugins or some things that you need to add in order to use all the features of MyMathLab, so that's the first thing you'll do. Anytime you start, if later in the semester you start having problems, this is a good place to go and run it again, and that may fix your problem. Restarting your computer is another great thing to do if you have any kind of issues before you start going to get some help outside yourself. Okay, so let's go back to the MyLab Math menu. And we're going to go into the assignments link, but that's where you're normally going to go. Let me show you the other things that are here. Of course, you have your textbook. It does take a few seconds to get going, to get downloaded here. So basically, you have access to everything that you would see in the book if you had the book, the physical book. So if you click here, you have the table of contents. So for section 1.2, for example, you can go here. Let's click here so we can see more of the page. I don't have my full screen on because I'm doing this video, so you'll be able to see the whole pages. But you can go from page to page down here. You can even type in the page you want to go to. And so it's pretty nice. If you click up here, you'll notice you can print a page. I haven't found that feature all that helpful. The pages that you print don't look all that great, but that is a possible thing that you do. I think it only lets you do a page at a time, so that's not real helpful either. Also, if you're interested in accessibility, you can see what they have here. Click on Pearson Accessibility and you can see what's available to help you as you go through the course. Okay, I'm going to click out of that, and I guess I have to click back here on MyLab Math. So here's your grade book for MyMathLab. I'm not going to go in there. Really all you're going to find is your grades on individual homework and quiz assignments. That's the main thing. Because of the way the settings are in MyLab Math, it's not going to be the most accurate place to see your grades. When we were doing our tour of Brightspace, I showed you where to find your grades. That's where you're going to want to go to see your updated grades. It's in Brightspace. Video and resource library. So this is where you have access to all the help that's available that goes along with the book. So we'll just go ahead and do chapter 1, first chapter that we're in. This is what our book looks like if you had it physically. So there's some videos up here. The ones I want to get to are these three here. You've got the textbook. This is a link to each section in that chapter. You've got PowerPoint notes for each section, and you've got videos. And so these are all ways to help you learn the material. And you also will have access to a lot of this when you're doing the homework, so I'll show you that shortly. Let me see if I can go back here. I'm not sure it's going to work. No, I'm going to have to click out. And again, click on MyLab Math here, and we'll get back here. So we have accessible resources. Again, if you're interested in accessibility, like for example, they have accessible PowerPoint lecture slides. So if that's of interest to you, you've got that there. And MyLab Math purchase options, that's where you can go if you want to actually order a copy of a paper copy, loose leaf copy of the book. It's about $60, so most people don't do that, but you certainly can if you're one of those people that really need to have the paper in front of you, but you do have to pay for that. I just want to mention this MyLab Math mindset. If you kind of have a defeatist attitude when it comes to math, I think you might find these videos quite educational. Really good advice, so that's something you might want to check out. I won't have time to spend time on that, but I'd certainly be willing to discuss any of that with you. Let's go back, and again, I'm clicking out of these tabs, and then I'm clicking here, and that seems to be the best way to navigate through these tabs. And normally you're not going through all this stuff. The last thing I want to mention is the integration support. If you need help during the semester and you have to work with Pearson people, they're going to probably ask you for some information or to copy some information out of integration support. Okay, we're ready to go to assignments. So we'll click on assignments. And so here's your homework. And you can see you have all the homework for the first test that you can get to right now. So let's go to section 1.4. So all the sections work very similar. The orientation homework is really just to help you navigate through the homework. And you know, like there's things where it shows you how to do graphing and stuff like that. Most students are pretty good about getting around in MyMathLab these days. But if you have any issues, you might want to check that orientation homework out. So let's go to the 1.4 and 1.5 notes. Those are together. Notes and videos. So this is where you have all the materials that are there to help you learn the material. So you have some videos. These are again those same videos we saw in that other area where we looked at the resources. Notice you have the book here, or no, that's the PowerPoint, and this is the book. So if some people like to read the section of the textbook and then go do the homework, you can do the PowerPoint notes. These are the videos that come with the book. But now what I'm going to recommend as your instructor, these are the videos that I made that go along with what I do in the classroom. So my encouragement would be watch these videos and then go do your homework. Basically, what I do in those videos should prepare you to be able to do most of the problems. Not all of them, but at least it should give you a pretty good start. And when you're in doing the homework and you click on videos, you're going to get these other videos. So in the first week or two, it's going to be really important that you figure out what it's going to take for you to learn the material and be successful when you go to the homework. So this is all your learning resources. So I'm going to try arrowing back. Let's see if it gets us back to where we want to go. That was good. It's the homework here. So now we're ready to go in and do the homework. So you can see this is the section. This is when it's due. It tells you how many attempts you have, and you can see that if you're late, you get basically a fourth off. So that's one thing I would say, don't be late. All right, so question 1. Actually, let's go to question 5. Now you'll notice there's a few ways you can navigate. You can go from question to question here. You have arrows to arrow back or forward to the next problem or the previous one. You can also click here and you can get around through here. It looks like this might be a way to print out the homework, so I haven't noticed that before, but you can try that. The only thing I tell you about that is I know in the past there was some students that printed out the homework and then they went back into the system and the problems had changed numbers. And so just be careful with that if you try that. You can also print by going here. There's more information about accessibility, and you can check out this other stuff. Help Center, if you find that that's useful at all, I'd love to hear from you. Tell me about it. I haven't heard anything about that. So let's go ahead, and there's a few things I want to show you here. So notice to do this problem, so first of all, you've already gone through Mr. Smith's videos, you're ready to go, but you get to here and you're like, shoot, I don't know how to do that. So you can click on Help Me Solve This, and it'll take you step by step through the problem and help you to solve it. But then it's going to give you a new problem. Maybe you like this problem, so you could click on View an Example. And so just click through the from page to page, and it'll tell you how to do that. It'll print it out as well, it looks like. And then you have Get More Help. Notice for this problem, there's a video, there's an animation, which is also a video, or you can go to the textbook. Now you can also go to Ask My Instructor, especially if you run into some harder problems. It's like on the weekend and you don't have any way to get any help. A lot of times students will send me, the nice thing about this is I get the problem and then you can ask your specific question. And if I have time, I'll get back to you. Now on the weekend, I don't make any guarantees, but there have been many times when I responded to a student and they were kind of surprised, but that is an option for getting help with questions. We also, it's one thing I didn't talk about in the other video, but I'll have to do something to show you where to go when we start doing online tutoring. Okay, so when I meet with students online. Okay, so let's go to number 14, and I'm just about done here. Boy, I'm already at 12 minutes. I'm really sorry. Okay, so here's a problem, and we're just going to put in the wrong answer. Let's go ahead and put in 5 and check the answer, and it's wrong. So let's put in 1. Check the answer, and it's wrong. Let's just leave it alone and do it again. It tells you the correct answer and the answer you gave. Now notice you can go on to the next question, or you can click on similar question. Let's click on next question. So notice it marked you with a red X, so you got that wrong, and now you're over here. Now let's go ahead and solve this one here. So it's going to be -5/2. -5/2. Hopefully you're with me on that. So check answer. That one was right. So here's the thing that I want you to see. On most problems, you're going to have 3 shots and then you get the red X. Now on a true or false, there are some problems where you literally get 1 shot at it. But once you have a red X, you can always go back to it and click on similar question. And in this case, we're going to get 5. And so now we do it right. And notice our red X is going to turn to green. So the point here is if you're willing to put in the time, you can get 100% on every homework. So I think that's pretty much everything I wanted to show you. So I'm going to stop there. If you have any questions, make sure you let me know.